Hey guys, welcome to another Double Tap on YouTube. I am Stephen Scott.
And I'm Shaun. Hello. I'm being casual. No second names needed. Shaun is enough.
Like Madonna.
Or Cher.
Or...
This has got interesting very quickly.
Trying to think of someone else who only uses one name.
Sting.
Yes.
And feedback at doubletaponair.com. Wow.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Double Tap on YouTube. So today I want to talk about Aira Access AI, the easiest name of a product to say ever. First off, can we change that? Could someone just get in touch and fix that? Because I don't like it. But the feature, I love.
Stephen doesn't like it. Can we change it?
I brought it back, though. I brought it back, right?
Well
it was like, first they thought, oh, here we go. And actually, I brought it back. Because, look, I love this because it's another example of using the power of AI to benefit us as disabled people, as blind people in this case. And it is very similar to Be My AI for sure. But the point is that this is developed for people who are blind. So you know that the whole interface will be accessible, which is the good thing. There also are a few other differences we're going to get into as well. But first off, have you tried this new feature?
Oh, I feel duty bound to say yes. But the truth is, I haven't yet. No.
Oh, Shaun Preece.
No, well, no, that's not true. I've looked at it, but I haven't used it, I would say, in real life yet. Do you know what I mean? I've opened it up while I've been sat on the settee and had a look around the interface, and it all seems perfectly fine, as you would expect. But I haven't actually used it in, as I say, practically yet. And there's a reason for that, and I think we're going to get to that in a minute. I've got a feeling you'll be, well, thinking the same as me.
What, because everyone's using Be My AI?
Oh, wow, straight to the point. Yeah, but actually, yes.
You want to dance around this topic? I mean, let's just get straight to the dance, right?
No, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I'm thinking. And that's no reflection on any of the capabilities or how they've done it or the performance of the description that you get. It's purely, and it's the same reason I use Seeing AI all the time rather than Envision or whatever else. It's just that now it's built into my muscle memory. When I want to do something like that, it's just, hey, whatever voice assistant, open Be My Eyes. Or I press the action button because I've programmed it into the action button on my iPhone, do you know?
Yeah.
It's just a case of it got there first.
Well, I want to focus on some of the differences today because there are clear differences between Aira Access AI and Be My AI. Aside the fact I think the second one is easier to say than the first one. I'm just saying. But here's the thing.
Go.
Let's focus on the differences first. And to do that, let's actually hear from Troy Otillio. He is the CEO of Aira. He joined us recently over on The Daily Show to join us to talk about exactly this, the differences between what is Aira Access AI and what else is out there currently.
You can provide images, you can take pictures, you can get descriptions, you can interact with it. You can do that with a lot of apps. But one of the main differences with Aira is that you can also interact with the agents. So we are stitching together the experience so that, when there's a point in time when you're not confident about what the AI is providing back, that description, or you just want it to be verified, you can ask the agent, and I'm not talking about a call, you just simply mark the image or the description, and then you say you want some more information. You say that you want it verified, and free to you, the agent will respond in 20-30 seconds with either everything looks great or here's what the AI didn't catch. This was a hallucination or it was missing this information.
So some stark differences there, at least it would appear from what Troy is saying. Now, I should say that Be My Eyes does have a similar functionality where you can call a volunteer and they can also confirm or deny what it is that the images or description is saying. You can almost have that conversation with the volunteer. The difference here, though, it seems, is that you're able to almost text back and forward with that agent. So you're not having to make a call. I guess you could if you wanted to, but you don't have to. And it also comes down to the fact that you're talking to an agent. So it's a bit different. It allows you to have perhaps a conversation about something more personal than you might have with Be My AI.
I think that's exactly it. That is the big difference for me. And the fact, as Troy just said there, the 20 to 30 seconds and you get a typed response from a human being who's just verifying the AI response. That is very, very cool, the way they've integrated that agent. But I think you're right. But when we talk about differences, we can take the AI out of it. And when we talk about the differences between paying for a trained agent and using a volunteer with Be My Eyes, a lot of the talk is around the privacy and security and confidentiality aspect of these services. And there's something about a paid professional versus a volunteer. And let me just say this, I've never had a bad experience with any volunteer on Be My Eyes. I've never had a really bad experience with any Aira agent either. But there's something about that contract that you have when you're paying for a service, that you expect a certain level of privacy, professionalism, and confidentiality that maybe you don't when you're using a volunteer. In certain situations, that makes so much sense to use Aira, depending on the material you're trying to get described for you.
But there's another question that I put to Troy Otillio, and that is around the privacy itself, because there are concerns around what is happening to our data when we upload it to a service like OpenAI, for example. If you use ChatGPT, if you're uploading an image, is that image being fed straight into the massive munching machine that is the AI computer? That is the technical term. And, the problem is if it's munching in all that data and it's taking all that information in, and yeah, okay, maybe anonymizing it to some degree, it's still your data. We are essentially using Aira because it's giving that promise of privacy. Does that extend to the AI? And that's the question that I put to Troy Otillio.
When you use Aira or any app, the guarantees about how your data is handled are in those sometimes long to read terms of service privacy policy. As an aside, we work with an attorney who focuses on making this simple as possible language, but ultimately we didn't have to change our terms of service. We didn't change our privacy policy to launch this. Why? Because you get the same guarantee about your data, as you just mentioned, with our Access AI. How do we do that? We are using the paid enterprise version of AI, and in a minute I'm going to tell you we also have access to Gemini, which is another model. So whether it's Be My AI, whether it's Gemini, or other models that we may include in the future, we are going to leverage the enterprise or secure version. And I'll describe a little bit on that, but ultimately we give you the same guarantee about your data. It is only, it's only stored with Aira. These images that are going to AI are not. The OpenAI folks do not have access to them. The Gemini folks do not have access to them. Your data is handled in the same manner that it's handled with agents.
So that is giving people, I guess, a little bit more confidence knowing that, when you're uploading that image, it's not going off to OpenAI or Gemini or Google in this case. It's going to the Aira agents. Those are the people who keep it. Now, I kind of wonder if this is a little bit like, when you call a call center and it says your call may be recorded for training purposes. Is it like that? Is there just a little bit of extra recording kept for that very reason to enable them to assess the data, to able to assess the agent's information? Because I guess those guys are obviously going through performance reviews all the time.
Yeah, well, it's if there's any issues that arise and they can go back and assess if the information that was given was correct or for training purposes, maybe something like that. But I mean, I'll be honest with you, this is the same question we've asked many developers that are providing an AI service, and they all kind of give the same response. I believe that Be My Eyes had the same response, that it may be stored. These images may be stored, but not away, not with Google, not with anyone else, but they may be stored there for a while and for analysis or whatever it may be. So I don't know. Are you still happy with it being stored anywhere?
I'm getting to the stage where I'm realizing privacy is a bit of an old person's game. The young people don't seem particularly interested in it anymore. And I think that the reality is you have to think about what they can do with the data, right? What can they do with it that can be potentially harmful to you? And I think if you're really that concerned about it, just don't share that information with them. Try and find someone close to you to help that, But I mean, equally, you could have a friend who could be coming into your house And every time you show them an image of a bank statement, they could be snapping a picture of it. How do you know? Right? There's always a danger with everything in life. You've got to be careful. But, minimize risk at all times. But I think at the end of the day, what is good here, you have a company who, and this is where, Be My Eyes or Aira or any of these companies, they have got responsibilities. And if they start doing something bad with data, that's going to come out. And that is something that can be actioned and dealt with. And that's actually better. And it's certainly more possible to deal with legally than it would be if your friend was snapping a picture of your bank statement. So I would say I'd probably rather use that service. But again, it depends on what the information is. I think you've always got to be careful.
Yeah, you do, of course. You mentioned minimizing risk. And of course, we've always got to be aware of that. Excuse me. But the thing is, I think we just got to accept that we give away some of our privacy as blind people anyway. It's
Every day.
Just the way it is. Yeah, exactly. We need to. I mean, we both know somebody who gives away their PIN number when they want to get some money out of a cash point, right? I mean, of course, we may say, you can't do that. It's ridiculous. But when you're in that moment and you need some cash, sometimes you just need to trust. And you give away.
I did it with someone. Yeah, I know I shouldn't do it, and it's not a good idea. And don't do it, please. Do not try this at home. But it was the kind of day. It was not a good day for me, and I needed to get money out of the bank. And the process of trying to do it was just a nightmare. And I said to this person who was with me, "Can you do this for me?" And they were not comfortable with this at all. And I kind of thought to myself, look, the worst case scenario is I think the maximum they could take out was like $500. And I thought, well, you know what? If I lose it, I lose it. I'm willing to take the risk, but I'm making that. You know what? I think in life, you've got to take responsibility for your actions. It's as simple as that. And I try and take as much responsibility for my mistakes I've made plenty of times. Yeah. And, or even missteps, whatever you might want to call them. That's the point. You take responsibility for it. I'm saying, look, at the end of the day, it's my decision to do this. And if it falls, it's on me. And that gives me a little bit of control, I guess, in a weird way. I don't know.
You just need to accept it anyway. Sometimes we need to give a little bit of our own privacy to get help and just to get things done.
Yeah. Way too many people know too much about our lives as blind people. That's just the way it is.
It's true. Yeah.
Now, there is another side to this story, which I wanted to bring up with Troy, and that is around the impact that this could have, because we're talking here about agents being on hand to answer queries about images. Now, from all accounts already, this has become a very popular feature used by lots of different people who use Aira. Either they pay for the service or they don't. It's a free service. You don't have to subscribe and pay money to use Aira or to get access to Access AI. Goodness me. See, if they just changed that name,
Aira Access,
it would be
Access
so much
AI.
Easier. For
it's
me.
It's like a nursery rhyme, isn't it?
It is. It's like Access. But what I'm finding is that, yes, it's great. You can do that and you have to sign up. That's the one thing you will have to do. You have to sign up to use it, but you will be able to get access to it, which is brilliant. But what does that do to the availability of agents? If, for example, like I'm saying, you have agents who are suddenly all answering queries about AI, queries.
Yeah, pictures.
About images. So that's a question I put to Troy Otillio.
We know that we have been not staffing fast enough at Aira. We monitor that internally. It's something the team has been working on. It may allow me to point out that during last year, we started a process to convert our agents from being contractors to employees. We didn't make a big announcement about this, but I realized that it helps, explain a little bit about what we've been doing to address wait times. We knew in 2023 that, we have a service that is growing, and to make it even more attractive to be able to bring on more agents and also to do a better job scheduling, it was time to move to the next phase of Aira, where the visual interpreters, who are professionals, are employees of the company with benefits. And during that process, we had to hire differently. And I think last year, at the end of the year, some of the call times, some of the wait times were well beyond what we expect, what you expect. And now, beginning this year and continuing on, we're at a much better staffing level. Is AI going to reduce call volume? Is it going to increase call volume? Because one might argue that with more functionality in the Aira app, more people will download it, which is our hope. More people will engage with it, and more people will make use of access offers. So it is our hope that we actually get more calls. That's why our beta is not a public beta, but it's by I'd say invite, or within the app you sign up, and we'll be adding people daily, weekly, but we are not going to add everyone at once because we want to make sure that our staffing and the wait times are not affected by potential increased use of Aira visual interpreters.
So there we are. A lot of the questions answered, I guess, around what is this new feature from Aira. It sounds brilliant. The name, But, the good news is we've got another fantastic new feature to try, and it's free, Shaun Preece, my favorite price.
Of course, free. Yeah, let's be honest. They've done a great job on it. Janine's been fantastic with the beta testing team. So they've tested it again and again. So yeah, even though I haven't got to it yet, I definitely I'm gonna get to it, and I'm glad they've added that feature.
Hey, listen, check out lots more episodes of Double Tap on YouTube. On YouTube, funnily enough. You can get it wherever you find YouTube. And you can also get it on doubletaponair.com. You can also listen to this. If watching it is just too much for you to bear, you can also listen via podcast. It is available every single Sunday. Our best of YouTube episode lands on our podcast feed, which you can find wherever you find podcasts. I think that covers it. That's it for today. Keep your comments coming. Feedback at doubletaponair.com. Comment below 1-877-803-4567. And we're on social media. Goodness me, I'm tired. Thank you, Shaun. Goodbye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.